So we're now back in public session. We are here today to approve or vote on Resolution 20-21, which will authorize the DC Housing Enterprise to make final deployment of the remaining $6 million in New Market Tax Credit Authority to the Renaissance New Market Fund, LLC. I'm going to ask Merrick Malone, the head of DC Housing Enterprises, to in a few minutes explain this resolution, and then we will have questions from our commissioners.
So thank you, Chairman. This resolution is requesting that the DC Housing Authority, DC Housing Enterprise, be permitted to preserve its allocation, its future allocations of the new market tax credits. By approving a deal that is a project that is new market tax credit eligible, permitting us to deploy to a CDE, a qualified CDE, which is Renaissance Equity, which is a small minority-owned business in the District of Columbia that has done over $1 billion in transactions, new market tax credit transactions, and have worked with us on this. We had held out $6 million. We received an allocation in 2016, and let me point out that we've deployed $122 million successfully of new market tax credits since being in the program. In 2016, which was the last allocation we received, we closed and allocated $39 million of it to DC Prep. There was $16 million for that. Early Childhood Academy was $8 million, and our recently and a wonderful project was Bread for the City. It's $15 million. We reserved the $6 million for the Strand at the time, and obviously everyone wanted to do the Strand theater, readaptive use of the Strand Theater. It was a restaurant. It was going to be a musical venue, a community center, and everyone got behind that. So we worked with the development company, the project development, which is the National Housing Partners, to allocate those $6 million. We pre-funded those $6 million, and because we were so confident that the project would close, and like the other ones did, there were some waiting for the development team to put their financing in place. We realized once we drew down in June of 2019, they are supposed to close on the new markets within a year. That's the requirement. We held it out. There was the development team, which is required to pull together their financing, to pull together the due diligence, and so once we realized that we were not bumping up against a deadline, because we wanted to try to start closing early before the year. We started the calls. We had to stop, and because frankly the development team didn't have the financing in place.
Commissioner Calafaro
has joined the meeting.
When we realized and recognized that they might not be able to close, we actually looked at 4 projects in the District of Columbia. Three projects, and we went back to the Strand development team as late as November, and at that time we were told that there was a $3 million gap in the project because they had lost their historical tax credits, and they needed $9 million in tax credits.
Chairman.
I'm sorry.
Chairman.
Yeah.
Chairman Albert.
Yes, John.
The development team is not here to talk to their version of events, and we're talking about their transaction. I think that's a little bit inappropriate. Can we move on to the issue at hand here?
Absolutely.
I'd ask Mr. Mays too to keep the guardrails on this, because again, the development team is not here, is not giving input, and we're talking about their transaction now, which could hurt them in future negotiations with other lenders.
Understand.
Merrick, can you just focus
Yes, I
your?
will. Well, let me summarize. The reason that we are asking for this project to allocate is to preserve our program and to avoid a recapture of the tax credits of these 6 million. If we have a tax credit recapture, we will probably be terminated from the program. And we've never been close to a recapture. So I actually have Mike Schiffer on the phone or on the line. And Mike, can you briefly and succinctly share what recapture means and what the consequences are?
So I think we've heard that before, unless commissioners need a reorientation about what recapture is. We can either move on if you're finished, Eric.
Yeah, I am finished. We're asking to do this allocation actually to preserve our ability to receive additional allocations, which again we've applied all of them except this 6 million, and this will preserve our ability to receive future allocations that we can invest, as we always have, in projects in the District of Columbia, and to avoid severe financial penalties for a recapture event. That is what we're asking for.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moore. We appreciate that. I'm going to open it up for comments and questions from our commissioners. Commissioner Fanchecchio, let me start with you.
Thank you, Chairman Albert. I don't know how you knew I wanted to address the group, but I appreciate the opportunity.
I can see it in your face.
Yeah, I appreciate that. So what we're working to address here today is DCHE was established in order to do this function and support projects in the District of Columbia. This time they failed to place some of that portion of the proceeds or some of the tax credits into the District of Columbia. And so they're asking us to help them place this so that we don't lose this allocation or future allocations or really see any harm to DCHE. So I think as a board, we've want this entity to continue its work, but we do have to have accountability for this failure to place $6 million into a project in the district. Now, I know that DCHE has said that they've tried to place it into one deal in the district. Over the course of this week, I actually have talked to one other development team, and they were interested in these tax credits if they were given more time for a project in the District of Columbia. And so I can't imagine that I batted 1,000 by going to talk to one other development team and them wanting the ability to go after these tax credits. So DCHE has a job to do, and that job is to place these tax credits in the District of Columbia. Because they have failed to do so, they're asking the board to do something extraordinary, which is place our tax credits into a deal in Los Angeles. Now, it's really hard for me to stomach that, knowing that there's a need in the District of Columbia, especially at this time, to place tax credits. There's projects that are going to create jobs in the District of Columbia. There's projects that are going to create amenities for neighborhoods in the District of Columbia. But we're sending $6 million to a project in Los Angeles, which I'm sure is a worthy project. However, I can't go forward with this unless I know that this transaction directly benefits the residents of DC Housing Authority. And so what I'm asking for is that the proceeds, we've been briefed that there's $180,000 of proceeds at closing, and that there are residual proceeds in the years to come. So I'm moving a amendment that any proceeds at closing or in the residuals, without expenses taken out for lawyers or anything else, be moved to the DCHA. And I move that motion and ask for the support of of the other commissioners, and that these proceeds, and when it goes to DCHA, that the executive director come back to us with a way that it could directly impact the lives of our residents, whether that is supporting those who need assistance during the pandemic, whether it's those who wanted to start a business, a resident-owned business. There's a way for us to get this proceeds from this. We're sending $6 million to Los Angeles and not creating one job in the District of Columbia, not creating one amenity. We're going to make sure that the proceeds from the transaction go to the residents of the DC Housing Authority. So with that, Chairman, I move amendment to this resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner Falchecchio, for the amendment. I'm just going to try and summarize the amendment. Commissioner Falchecchio is moving an amendment that would demand the gross proceeds of this transaction, fees, etc., plus residual revenue, be transferred to DCHA to support public housing residents, giving the executive director some time to come back and demonstrate to the board how those proceeds will be used. And so with the motion in place, I would entertain a second. The amendment, rather. Motion for the amendment in place, I'd entertain a second. Is there a second?
I second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Additional questions or comments from our board members? So hearing none, I'm going to ask our secretary, Ms. Alethea, to have a roll call vote.
Thank you. Commissioner Slover?
A pass for now.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Strickland?
Vote.
Commissioner Strickland?
Yes, I voted in for it.
Thank you. Commissioner Ortiz-Gao?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Council?
In order to save the program, yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Talaferro?
I vote pass.
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Commissioner. What is your vote?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Falchecchio?
Yes.
And Albert?
Yes.
There are 6 yes votes, 1 abstention.
Well, I don't know that
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
that Commissioner Silver wanted to vote. He just didn't want to vote at that time. So you've got to ask him.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Commissioner
not.
Slover?
I'm not abstaining. I'm going to vote present.
Oh, you're voting present.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Okay. Thank you. You have 6 yes. The resolution is approved.
Great. Thank you so much. We do have some other public witnesses that have signed up to bring testimony today. We have Shanta Hai and we have Omar Mushin. Is Ms. Hai still on the call? Shanta, is there anything else you'd like to add today?
For the tax credits, no. I just wanted to give my testimony.
Go right ahead.
Second, because I was working on something. Thank you. Saturday. I am the president. Years prior to 20, Park Morton has put forth this against the displacement of Park Morton. I have requested several times DCHA to keep a constant communication with me, which you made a decision about my property, and I'm here today to sum up the year of 2020 that has gone as follows. One, the council at Park advocated for announcement boxes to be able to display flyers for meetings, but has only received one key for the only box that's located in the resident council building. 2, we've advocated for locks for all of the buildings in the past and requested a key to be able to do wellness checks on our residents and be able to hang flyers about virtual meetings. We have not received the key. 3, having worked with Empower DC and many of our allies, we've been able to accomplish 2 protests this year. The first being held February 25th, 2020, and the second, August 25th. 4th, we promoted a Part 1 equity plan. 5th, we've been more than 330 plus signatures on change.org in support of the Part 1 equity plan. 6, we've attended multiple meetings, including DCHA Board of Commissioners, DC City Council, alley closure hearing, LDA / LDDA extension hearings. 7, we've generated media attention for mistreated and displaced Park Morton residents. 8, we've linked residents to attorneys who needed legal assistance. 9, we've kept in constant contact with and other resources. 10, we fought against mass illegal evictions, including my own, being most recently targeted by DCHA on June 24th, 2020 at 1:30 p.m. after being a domestic violence victim. Number 11, we did a Thanksgiving holiday turkey drive in the middle of COVID that DCHA arranged but did not show up for. 12, I fed my families with food distribution with no assistance from DCHA consistently for almost 6 throughout the pandemic. Unless I've assisted, number 13, I've assisted residents move towards entrepreneurship, including high-level emergency preparedness, and move many of my residents towards home with DCA, taking them from the property, the housing, culture, HT program. That's some period of this year's prepare yourselves for the fight to come in 2021. In closing, 2 scriptures. 10, fear with you, being made. I am your God, strengthen you, help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. 2:10, what you are about to suffer is about that you may be saved from tribulation. Be faithful unto death, and I give you to the crown of life. I'm in Shante. I thank you all have a holiday.
Thank you so much, Ms. High, for your testimony and for your wishes for the holiday. And best of the holidays to you also. Next up, Umar Mushin.
It's not on.
He's not on. William Jordan.
Thank you, Chairman Albert and Board. I urge the board to seize the opportunity of the current new market tax credit debacle to make the necessary structural and operational changes to the New Communities Initiative and DCHA's ongoing role. The current $6 million allocation emergency and the jeopardy of DCHE's $122 million program is a direct result of structural inequities in DCHA's residents inherent in the city's NCI program and operational deficiencies in executing the NCI's Bill First and Replacement Unit principles. The board would be foregoing its fiducial and moral responsibility by passing Resolution 2021 without simultaneously changing DCHA's structural relationship to NCI. Moving forward is being proposed akin to shaving 6 feet from the tip of an iceberg after the Titanic struck it to save the passengers' grandchildren. The primary problem with here is DNPA's mission creep and rudderless management and NCI's Bill First and replacement unit obligations, related financial gaps. The pattern is evident at Lincoln Heights, also Berry Farm and Park Morton. The immediate solution is to transfer the responsibility of NCI to DCHE, beginning with Park Morton NCI and related Park Morton Equity Plan. In fact, DNPAD no longer has an executive senior level director of NCI. I urge the board today to avoid the Titanic results, adopt the following modifications to Resolution 2021. And whereas 6 basically say, for the purposes of financing 28 Lincoln Heights Bill First units, which was a purpose for including the 26 million. And whereas 8th, to add, it's a public partner DNPAD, because DNPAD was responsible for this project. After the final and additional resolve, it should say, be it resolved that the board urges DNPAD to begin to transfer the responsibility of the NCI program to DCHE, and beginning this transfer process with the Park Morton NCI project for the purpose of moving the project forward, including the implementation of the Park Morton Equity Plan. I also sent the board members some attached documents. I hope you all got them, backing up the evidence of my testimony. I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and I hope the board will consider using this opportunity to make the changes necessary so that we can have a successful program and stop the finger pointing and put the residents of that we are all responsible for first. Thank you, Chairman Albert.
William, thanks as always for your testimony, and happy holidays to you. There are no other public witnesses at this time. Commissioners, if there's no other business to bring before this meeting today, I will declare this meeting closed. The next Board of Directors of Commissioners meeting will be held Wednesday, February 10th, 2021 at 1 p.m. via WebEx, and information regarding viewing or participating in the meeting live can be found at www.dchousing.org. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Happy holidays to everyone.
Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone. Bye-bye.